Okay, is your girl Great Faith? Guys, there is something I want to really share with you guys, which I think this is going to be like an eye-opener for anyone seeing this video. These are things like I talk about, and most times people look at it like they don't really get to take us seriously because for the reason I don't know why that happens. But I just want to talk about 700 Indian students that were deported from Canada. Now, on this video, it's going to be like a very short video. You are going to be watching it yourself so you understand what I'm trying to say. I did have some informations from the Canada Board Service Agency, known as CBSA. They were the one that issued the deportation letter for these 700 Indian students. Now, somebody will be asking, why should they deport that kind of massive numbers of students? And on the other hand, you'll be thinking, those students, what were they doing? If they were students, if they finished studying, are they not working? When you check from the Canadian government perspective, you also look at those students that came before they came to this place. Before we even start diving into the entire brouhaha about this thing, let's read, okay? All right, I'm going to just read it out so we are going to understand what is happening. Okay, so while I was checking the Canadian Board Service Agency website, the reason for this deportation, I saw this information, which is all over Indian Express, Indian News, is all over their platforms, is all over the website, is not like a hidden information. People are aware, so I just have to read it out. According to an Indian student, 700 Indian students submitted their application after their 12th grades. So after they graduated from school, high school, you finish, you've written your WAEC, maybe you have your NECO, they submitted their application to study. They want to study in Canada. Now, they did not submit the application directly to the university, which I think we should make sure we have the right information regarding this issue. Where did they submit the application to? The application were submitted back since 2018 to 2020, within that period, the 700 of them, and they submitted this application to an agent, a study agent like me, to do the application for them. And they paid about 16 to 20,000 rupees. You can check what it is. Of course, that is not a joke. And most of these Indians, just like the way they are part of the third world country, is security fee, security deposit, and it did not cover their ticket. Okay. So when this is an ordeal, that was explained by one of the students. And when they arrived Toronto, okay, and where were they headed to? Which college? They were headed to the Humber College. So when this student arrived at Toronto, the agent was like, okay, because of the time of your arrival, the admission seats are already filled up. Okay, guys, you have to understand that, like what I say, if you are following my video and you also pay attention to everything I'm saying, scamming you will be very, very difficult. Because you know why? You should be able to know the time of the admission of this country you are applying to. For example, in the European continent, most of the universities, they have 2 intakes. Some of them just 1. Some of them 3. That is why personal research is very, very important. Because if these students, they would have researched properly, they will not just make the mistake, or even looking at the offer letter, they should know that something is wrong. Because what time does the university issue admission? What time did they fly to Canada? We keep coming. We just keep digesting it as it comes. Okay. So when he told them that the seats are already filled up for the semester, so they need to wait extra 6 months for them to be able to start from the next semester. Okay. So he told them, instead of them to be wasting their time, they can just move ahead to another college or another university to apply for them to start, instead of them to be waiting for extra 6 months before they can be able to apply. This was what the agent told them. So what he did was he refunded their money back to them. Okay, and after he did that, these guys, what do? They trusted him. This is like logical. If I take money from you as an agent, which I do all the time, and I can see that a lot of you trust me, because if it doesn't go through, I refund your money. Anything I tell you, you are going to do it. Because now at this point, you already trust me, because I've already refunded your money. So that means I am not after your money, right? This is like psychology. This is like a mind game that is being played here. So after I refunded the money to them, and they was already giving issue that, okay, since the upper college that you guys came for this semester is over, I need like 6 months to stay. I wouldn't recommend you stay for 6 months. I can just recommend you go in for another college or another university for you to apply for. Okay, so he spoke to them about that. So now what happened is that as a result of that, these students, they listened to his advice and they went to another college to apply for 2 years diploma. They're already in Canada as we speak, so they applied for the 2 years diploma, which they started studying, and they completed their courses, which is allowing them to secure the Canadian permit. Now, so what is it? They've already studied, they are done with their studies. It's just like in Lithuania. When you come in as a student and you graduate, Lithuania gives you 1 year post-study for you to apply for your temporary resident, which is like normal, right? For we that are here, the government issued us that. We all had it. We applied for we to look for a job and to live our life. Okay. Now, so when that happened, these students already, they are done with everything. They are already become eligible for permanent residence. So they submitted for the relevant document to the immigration department. I've already graduated, right? So after my graduation, I studied in Canada. I want to apply for my permanent residence. Okay. So when they did, that was when the issue started, guys. Because the CBSA went through their document and discovered that the college admission letter they used to get visa from India was forged, which was the Humper College that they came to, and the agents told them that there are no seats again for this semester, so they need to wait extra 6 months. So the investigation became like very serious, because of course they've already figured that, okay, this document was forged, and for that reason, how did they get in here? Okay, and another thing that happened in this entire scenario is that they also confirmed that the agent, this is like the 700 students, also confirmed that the agent did not sign any of those documents himself. Rather, the student signed the document, making them to portray themselves as applicants who did not hire service of an agent. So, on the agent side, he was a smart guy. Like, extremely smart. Because this was a deliberate act from the agent, since all the documents he provided were not original. So he knew what he was doing, and he played these students. 700 students. Multiply 20,000 rupees by 700. How much is the money? And also, the student that was narrating this ordeal did not really say how much was refunded to them. We don't know if he refunded the entire money, but they said the money was refunded. Was the money refunded to the entire 700 candidates? It was not stated on the website where I was checking. Okay, guys, I am going deeper, like I'm analyzing the entire situation, because apart from me being an agent that assists university to recruit students, I am also a diplomat. On the other hand, I studied diplomacy and I do understand the immigration system and how it works. So these are the things I'm looking at from my field This is what I'm just trying to analyze right now, because these are the things they bring to us in class and we try to analyze them. Another thing we want to look at in this is that who issued out these visas to these 700 candidates, and on what grounds was this visa issued? So how did they get the visa and how did they come in? Was the university aware that 700 visas have been issued to this student, to their college? And if the university was aware that these students were coming, who was the person that gave this visa to these students without confirming the admission offer from the university? Because from this entire story, you can see that the student had no place in the university because this university was not ready for them. There was no provision made for them to come in. Because if the agent told them when they got to Toronto that the Hopper College you guys are coming, there are no seats available, which is to say that there was no provision made for these 700 candidates. So where are they going to fit in? They just need to spread out and go to other colleges to get the 2 years degree program that they got. So this is a huge lesson. I would like you guys to watch this video.
Luggage for whatever reason, or big luggage. That's good. When we walk them back up to immigration, I've got approval from GTA that they can store their luggage underneath the escalator. We'll port it off here.
Lesson you need to learn from this video. There are a lot of fake agents out there. And another problem why this student, the first victim, was because they did not do any research. These things are not difficult. These things are not rocket science. You can be able to do your research as an individual or as a student to be able to find out which country am I going to? What is the capital of the country? What is the name of the university? What kind of document do I need? When is the application process? When is the right time for me to apply? When is the right time for me to put in for my documentation? What kind of document do I need to apply for visa? If I use social amount for my proof of fund, are they going to give me visa? Are they going to reject? You check on YouTube, you watch about it, you ask questions while you're doing personal research. If the student did personal research, they would have found out that this is a fake admission letter. They would have not fallen victim. But we're in a generation where people are not ready to do the work. We keep dumping a lot of information. Even as I'm talking to you, someone is going to still fall victim into a fake agent like the next minute. Because you are not learning. Things keep happening and reoccurring. No one is learning from it. It doesn't make sense. The reason is because imagine after staying in a country, working and paying tax or studying, and it's time for you to be a permanent resident or for you to get a temporary resident in a country and you are being deported simply because you refuse to do your own research. Another thing you guys need to learn from this video is desperation. Being desperate to come to a foreign land without proper research is killing a lot of people. It's making you get into the wrong hand. There are a lot of fake people that don't even know what is happening when it comes to agency. They are just collecting money. And another problem is when you want it fast track is another issue. And I don't know, the Canadian government should also look into it. Who was the person that issued that these 700 visas to these students? In as much as they have already penalized the students to send them back to, deport them back to India, they should look for the consulate that was working at that. Apart from that, later this evening I was seeing a news as well. A former employee of French embassy in India who forged tens of visas escapes country. What is happening in India? What is happening? I have a lot of friends from India. Like, I just think they will see this video. What is happening? According to what they have here on the Schengen news, they said a former French embassy in India employee who allegedly issued visas to hundreds of people by using fake documents without authorization has escaped the country. According to the Indian Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, the former French embassy employee issued visas by using forged documents without the knowledge or approval from the embassy visa department head. From January 1st, 2022 to May 6, 2022. Okay, what is going on? What is happening? It's happening with French visas and now is the Canadian visa. What is is going on. So a proper investigation should be done, because being an agent and someone who studied diplomacy, I don't understand the effect of this. They can just say this is just to the Indians. No, not just the Indians are affected. As we speak, all international students that want to migrate to Canada is affected at this point. Because if they were not scrutinizing your documentations, like if they were taking like 1 or 2 days to scrutinize your documentation, now they are going to be taking 2 months or 1 month to make sure that they scrutinize it properly. Because when one international student is affected, it affects all the international students, because they have guys, every country on the planet Earth wants to protect their integrity. And for a country like Canada to be played like this calls for urgent attention. Just that this is a wake-up call for anyone that will be seeing this video. Like I always say, I am an advocate for authentic documentation. It doesn't matter the country, it doesn't matter how small they are. I always say this: make sure you are providing an authentic document. Make sure your documents are stamped and sealed. Make sure you are not forging documentation, because it might take a long while, but they are going to find out, like what happened now. This has already been ongoing since 2018. Okay, before 2018, who knows when this entire process, the entire forging of offer letter, the entire issuing of visas without cross-checking properly if everything is fine, when all this has been ongoing, and now at the verge of their success, at the verge of their breakthrough, this is a huge disappointment. Imagine what it takes. Deporting students back to their country is tinting their international documentations, because it's going to be in the history of the student document that they were deported from Canada. Okay, and not all countries we want to welcome them. So this is not a good thing, because your image in the international world is very, very important, because apart from that, your country's integrity as well is very, very important. No country wants them to be seen as being loose in terms of security. So this is it. Influx of immigrants can lead to a lot of things. This is not just affecting the Indian international student, it is going to affect other international students. So if you are going to listen to me seeing this video coming from the perspective of a diplomat, of somebody who sat in the classroom to study immigration, to study about consulate and how it works and how it operates, all I'm going to say and recommend to you is that any country you are applying to, no matter how little that country is, you should not use a forged document. I am saying it, I am still saying it again. You should not provide informations that are not corresponding with the things you have. There should be a correspondence between the document you have and the document you're sending for the visa application in any embassy you're submitting it to. And make sure that if you're providing bank statement, you shouldn't cut and join the bank statement. Excuse me, don't just pick anything from anywhere and put it together and just assume that they are not going to check. They might not check now, but at the verge of a breakthrough, like just what happened to the 700 students, it can happen to anyone. And this is a wake-up call as well to the Indian government, for them to look and scrutinize properly what is happening in their country, because trust me, issues like this damages bilateral relationships between countries, because no country wants to be having a very good relationship or cordial relationship with you when your citizens are messing up their country. That is why I always tell you, as an international student traveling or going to another country, you are an ambassador of your country. Because no matter how you are a citizen of that country, you have the passport, your veins, your arteries still carry the blood of where you're coming from. So you are a representative of your country, which calls for you to check the way you behave when you are in a foreign land other than your own home country. So it's quite unfortunate. And for the students, I feel for them, because imagine, most of them are already like, okay, at this time I'm going to be a resident holder in Canada. I can be able to take my family. I can be able to move on with my life. I can be able to do other things. And they are just coming to tell you, oh no, you cannot be able to do those things because we are deporting you back to your country. This is a bit not a good thing for them. It's already tinted their image. And apart from that, what about the trauma that they went through? What about the expenses? They were played, and at the same time, they were not careful. And in conclusion of this video, what I really want to say is that there was an insider in the consulate or in the diplomatic mission of Canada in India, for both France and Canada, that was doing this. This is not just an ordinary matter. This is bigger than what we see. It's deeper than what we can actually relate to right now. I'm just trying to analyze it. So, the takeaways for this video: always research. Personal research is the ultimate goal. Don't be too desperate of traveling to another country that you fail to pay attention to the university you got, the university admission you got, what is happening in the university, what is happening in the country. Always verify offer letters. When you receive an offer letter, send a message to the university. Send them the copy of the offer letter via email. Dear university, dear admission board, my name is so and so. I'm from so country. I got admission, blah blah blah. I want to confirm, is this admission valid or not? This is something that you can do for yourself. This is something that you should do for yourself. Always verify your offer letter. Okay? And fourthly, guys, not all agents out there are scam free. You have to be really careful. I don't know how to say it again because a lot of you are desperate. I see how you come to me and you want to choke, like you want to choke out the visa from me. You're like, Faith Travels, tell me, am I going to give visa? What is the guarantee? To deceive you guys is 100% easy, but my conscience wouldn't let me, because this is not what I'm here for. I am here to change the narrative. This is what I study. I do understand the implications when people participate in fraudulent activities. When you take advantage of people's suffering, people's pain, people sell their properties to make sure they get greener pastures, and you just squander all of that from them. I do feel the pain. I do understand. So coming from the perspective of someone who has been a victim before, I totally do understand. That is why I became an agent, to change the narrative. So you cannot force me to tell you that I'm going to give you visa in the next 5 days when I know that the decision is totally dependent on the consulate in the diplomatic mission of that country where the embassy is situated. Research is very important. I feel so sad, and like I don't understand why people are making gain and a lot of money out of the expense of pains and terrible, like, psychological trauma of other people. Imagine 20,000 rupees, multiply it by 700 students. These are the ones they caught. What about the ones they don't know? So guys, that's the end of this video. Okay, that's the end of the video. That's all, everything I have to say about this video. We don't know what to say, dog. This is just like an eye-opener to you, for you to be more careful. Not all agents out there really mean well. You have to be careful who you're giving your money to. You have to be careful what you're doing out there. The streets are cold. There are a lot of wild people out there. And each time you get an offer letter, including the one provided by me, that is why each time we are doing any admission, guys, we CC you on the university emails so that you can be able to have access to the university. We know what we are doing. We are not daft. Either are we done. Is your girl girlfriend? A word is enough for the wise. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the end of this video. For those students that are unfortunate or that were victimized as a result of this agent and the games and the mind game, the tricks he played with them, we are just going to say sorry for them, and hopefully the Canadian government gets to the root of this, and also the France government gets to the root of this. That means they are still going to be deporting a lot of Indians again from France, because if they already discovered that tens and hundreds of them received the visa without going through the normal process, it's going to be an issue. So in conclusion of this video, anything you're doing You want to travel abroad? Make sure you do it the right way. Do not use sea. Do not use boats. Do not get into a tanker. Do not smuggle through a tunnel just to come to abroad. Make sure when you have your admission, you verify your admission, you speak to the school, you make sure you have a place to stay, you make sure your money is intact, you make sure your documentation are authentic. Can we have an authentic documentation? And stop rolling and spoiling things for other people. This is not a joke because all international students are affected. You will know when you start applying for visas. It's affecting a lot of people right now, but you will not know until you go to apply for visa. You just say, oh wow, it's just an Indian. It's not just an Indian thing right now because they are our international students. It's not making, things are still going to be like more harder right now because countries need to protect the integrity of their country. Do you understand what I'm saying? Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to like and click on the notification button. It's your girl Great Faith. I love you, but God Almighty love you guys the most. Peace out. Bye.